Hey friends, tax season is coming. I've got you covered with a 12-episode Saturday series running January through April. Each week, I'll share tips to help small business owners avoid tax season stress, get clarity, and lighten the load by delegating what you don't need to carry. Tune in every Saturday and step into tax season with confidence.
I have a question for you. How many receipts are in your vehicle right now? And I mean right now, if you were to walk into your car this minute, how many would you find? And let's be honest, are they on your dashboard, crumpled up, or in the glove box, shoved in your back pocket, maybe even stuffed in a console between the front seats, or maybe scattered across the passenger seat mixed with estimates, work orders, or everything else? Those little slips of paper may not look like much, but every single one of them represents money. Money you're potentially losing if those receipts never make it to your bookkeeping system. Today, I'm going to help you stop bleeding cash and finally taking control of every single receipt, because here's the truth. You need to track it or you lose it. So let's talk about the reality of receipts and why this is such a massive problem for small business owners. The average small business owner makes multiple supply runs every single week. Maybe it's to the local hardware store for quick necessities. Maybe it's a big box store for a large material order. Or maybe it's specialty supplies for a specific item. Sometimes it's online orders for things you can't find locally. If you're spending, let's say, about $100 on each of those runs, and you're making, let's say, 3 trips a week, that's $300 weekly. Multiply that over 52 weeks, you're looking at $15,600 per year minimum. And that's actually a conservative estimate for most active small business owners. Many are spending significantly more. Now, here's the critical question. How much of that $15,600 that we're talking about or more is actually making it into your books? How much are you actually tracking and categorizing properly? For most business owners, the honest answer is not enough. Maybe half, maybe less than half. That means thousands and thousands of dollars in legitimate business expenses just go floating out there, untracked, uncategorized, and therefore not helping you at tax time. And this is exactly why the Clarity Compass membership exists. In our Monday night sessions, members just don't talk about the big picture theory. We drill into these exact details. Members actually bring the receipts, open their books, and we categorize transactions together in real time. It's not just about tax deductions, though that's certainly important. It's about accountability, building sustainable habits, and protecting your profits week after week instead of scrambling once a year. One of the biggest mistakes I see small business owners make, and this happens constantly, and it's lumping everything together into one generic category, and they'll call it like supplies or materials, and they just throw everything in there. But here's the problem. Not all receipts are created equal, and not all purchases should be created the same way. Materials that you're buying for a specific project need to be categorized differently than tools you're buying for your business that will last for years. And those both need to be separated and need to be categorized differently. If you throw everything into one bucket, your books won't tell you the real story of your business. And here's why project allocation matters so much. If you don't assign materials and costs to specific jobs, you have absolutely no idea what your true costs were for each project. You might think you make great money on a job, but if you're not tracking what you actually spent on materials, labor, and supplies for that specific project, you're just guessing. That means you could be underpricing your bids without even realizing it. You could be losing money on jobs that seem profitable on the surface, or you could be missing out on tax deductions because you can't prove which expense tied to which income. Project allocation isn't just nice to have. It's an organizational tactic, and it's the difference between truly understanding your profitability and just hoping for the best. And here's something else to consider. Accurate categorization is crucial for different types of purchases. When tax time rolls around, your CPA needs to see the expenses categorized correctly. Some categories depreciate over multiple years. Some are fully deductible in the year you purchased. Some require specific documentation, and if you're categorizing everything the same way, you're making nearly impossible to maximize your tax benefits. And if you're thinking, I don't have time for this level of detail, that's exactly where our white glove services come in. We handle every bit of this for you, capturing receipts, categorizing expenses properly, and allocating all the costs to the right projects so you get the picture without lifting a finger. Now let's talk about practical solutions, because this doesn't have to be as hard as you think. We live in an age where technology can make receipts tracking a lot more efficient. Digital scanning apps have revolutionized receipt management. QuickBooks has a mobile app and lets you snap a photo of the receipt right there and then and be able to categorize it instantly. There's other apps and other tools in which you can also just track your receipts, or you can simply just use your phone's camera and use your phone's cloud storage to keep your information that way as well. Now, here's what I recommend. Make it part of your checkout routine. If you pay for materials, you get your receipt, and before you even walk out of the store, snap a photo on your phone. Take literally 5 seconds, but those 5 seconds save you hours of frustration later on trying to remember what that faded receipt was for, or worse, having to accept that the receipt is just gone forever. Real-time entry completely changes the game. Instead of waiting until tax time for everything to get organized, you can do that at the right moment. But I understand life gets busy, even if in the best intentions, sometimes we forget to scan the receipt right away, or you have a crazy week where bookkeeping falls completely off the radar. And that's okay. That's actually normal. And that's why we have the Monday night catch-up system in our membership. Even if you didn't track a single receipt all week, even if you got a pile of them sitting on your passenger seat, that Monday night session is your reset button. You show up, you open your books, and you spend 1 hour focused on getting everything entered up and up to date. You leave the session with your receipts recorded, your books current, and your stress level significantly lower. In fact, inside our membership sessions, we actually practice this together. Members pull out their phones, we walk you through how to scan apps, how to use real-time applications to be able to capture receipts, etc. That hands-on live accountability is what actually turns good intentions into lasting results. Now let's talk about why this level of detail isn't just about taxes. It's fundamentally about understanding whether your business is actually making money, whether you're tracking materials and supplies by project. You can finally see your true cost for each job. Now, what you estimated, not what you hoped for, but what you actually spent. You'll know exactly what went into each project. You'll see which jobs came in under budget and which ones went over. You'll identify patterns. Maybe certain types of jobs consistently require more materials than you bid. Maybe specific clients always seem to have results in higher supply costs because of their particular requirements or constant changes. This kind of business intelligence is invaluable, but you can only get it through detailed tracking. Better data leads to better pricing decisions down the road. When you can see that certain types of projects consistently require more materials or generate higher supply costs, then you can adjust your future bids. That means no more underpricing, no more surprise losses where you finish a job and you realize that you hardly broke even. Your numbers become your guide for smarter decisions. And again, if you're thinking this sounds like a lot, or I don't have time to track at this level, our white glove services exist specifically for that small business owner who needs this level of detail but doesn't want to manage it themselves. We track receipts for you, we allocate expenses from the right projects, we even generate project profitability reports that show you exactly which jobs made money and which ones didn't. You'll get all the insights without spending your evenings buried in paper. But this is where everything comes together, my friends. Building the weekly habit that makes tracking sustainable instead of overwhelming. Every Monday night in our membership sessions, we reinforce this habit together. Members show up knowing they're going to spend 1 hour cleaning up their books, entering receipts, and getting everything current. That regular rhythm prevents the year-long backlog that makes so many business owners dread bookkeeping. One weekly commitment, just 1 hour, prevents 12 months of chaos. It's not about perfection. Nobody expects you to be perfect with receipts. It's about progress and consistency. Every week you're protecting more of your deductions. Every week you're building better business intelligence about which jobs are truly profitable. And here's something really powerful about the group aspect. Someone always asks a question you didn't even know you needed to ask. How do I categorize this mixed purchase where I bought both materials and tools on the same receipt? How do I do about this online order that I'm splitting across 2 different projects? Is this considered a supply or a tool? Those questions benefit everyone in the session. You walk away knowing more about feeling more confident and realizing that bookkeeping doesn't have to be overwhelming or something that you need to face alone. The payoff for building this weekly habit is massive. No more shoebox full of receipts. No more panics as tax season approaches. No more guessing what your profits actually are. Just clean, organized records, accurate project costs, and the genuine confidence that comes from knowing you're not leaving money on the table. One member told me that used to let receipts pile up for months, sometimes the entire year. By tax time, half of them were lost. And the ones that did keep, they were so faded, he couldn't even read them anymore. After joining the membership and committing to those Monday nights, they started entering receipts every single week. The next tax season, they were actually ahead of the game. And that was the first time ever. Not scrambling, not stressing, just prepping. They told me that the shift alone was worth 10 times the membership investment because of the stress is eliminated and deductions were protected. The biggest lesson here is simple but powerful. Every receipt matters. The $20 supply run matters. The $200 tool purchase matters. The $2,000 material order absolutely matters. They all add up to thousands and thousands of dollars over the course of a year. Track it or lose it. It's really that straightforward. So here's your action step. Don't let any other receipts go undocumented. Join us in the Clarity Compass membership this Monday night for that weekly accountability that makes tracking sustainable. Or if you'd rather hand the entire process over the professionals who will capture and categorize every single expense for you, reach out about our white glove services. Either way, you're protecting your profits, reducing your stress, and finally gaining real clarity about what your business actually costs and what it earns. Remember, those receipts in your car right now represent money. Make sure that money works for you, not against you. And thank you again for tuning in to the Tax Season Saturday series, and I'll see you next week for another episode.
Hey, thanks for joining this Saturday's tax season special. Don't forget, you can join the Clarity Compass membership for weekly support or reach out for our white glove bookkeeping services. And remember, we're not lawyers or accountants, just your guide to clarity. Catch the next Saturday episode in this special tax season series. See you then.